Hey, I'm Mike, and this is Walkthrough Reviews. Today I'd like to talk about the show Gravity Falls. This is a show with a lot of big mysteries and tons of speculation. Today I'd like to talk about a big one, the true author of the journals. The next episode claims to reveal the identity of the author, and a lot of people think they already know who it is, but I'm still pretty skeptical. First of all, I'd like to mention that this is all speculation, and I could be completely wrong about everything. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so there's a lot of evidence leading people to believe Old Man McGucket is the true author of the journals. At this point, most people are 100% convinced it has to be him, but I'd like to argue that there's actually too much evidence pointing to McGucket for me to believe it's true. I know this sounds strange, but bear with me. Gravity Falls is a very clever show, and every subtle little detail is carefully placed for the viewer to find and interpret. First, I'll run through all the evidence supporting McGucket being the author, and then I'll explain what I think is really going on. Okay, so Old Man McGucket is a reoccurring character and usually acts as a comic relief. He's the local kook of Gravity Falls, but also a part-time inventor. He builds complicated machinery, which could mean he was sane at some point in his life. The author of the journal seems to be quite the inventor as well. In Dreamscaperers, Bill Cipher tried to destroy Grunkle Stan's mind. Could he have succeeded at making Old Man McGucket go crazy after he discovered too many secrets? We know the author had 6 fingers on his right hand. McGucket has bandages on his right hand, meaning maybe he lost his extra digit. The laptop found in the episode Into the Bunker says property of F. Old Man McGucket's full name is Fiddleford H. McGucket. The shapeshifter talks about the author and says that 6-fingered nerd hasn't been himself for 30 years. At the end of the Gulf War, the credits reveal the message, "Old man sleeping on the green. Can't help but wonder what he's seen." Also, there was a leaked image showing what seems to be a young McGucket writing the journal with his 6th finger intact. This seems like pretty conclusive evidence, especially when you see it all together. The problem I have with it is, if you separate every piece of evidence, you don't really have much to go on. It only looks like a lot when compiled together. There could be something completely different going on here, and I believe we're being misled on purpose. Being a writer on an animated series myself, I enjoy seeing a lot of literary terms cleverly inserted into the show. Like for example, in Seuss and the Real Girl, Seuss meets Melody while she is working at a restaurant chain called Meet Cute. Her place of employment is actually referring to a literary tool known as a meet cute. A meet cute is a scene in film or television in which a future romantic couple meets for the first time in a way that is considered adorable, entertaining, or amusing. It's a small reference that most people probably wouldn't notice, but this kind of stuff happens all the time. In the case of Old Man McGucket, his last name is similar to the literary term MacGuffin. In fiction, a MacGuffin is a plot device in the form of some goal, desired object, or other motivator that the protagonist pursues. The most common type of MacGuffin is an object, place, or person. So is this a literary pun? Could this mean that Old Man McGucket is the key to solving the mysteries of Gravity Falls? If Dipper is the protagonist, and he is searching for the author, it would make sense if McGucket is the answer to all the questions. Or maybe not. I believe a completely different literary tool is in play. Old Man McGucket could actually be a red herring, which is something that misleads or distracts the audience from the relevant or important issue, a literary device that leads readers or characters towards a false conclusion. As I've said, Gravity Falls is a very clever show. I wouldn't be surprised if McGucket was put in just to mislead us the entire time and distract us from discovering the true author. So yes, there is a lot of evidence towards McGucket being the author, but if we look at each clue separately, you'll notice none of it's really 100% proof of anything. For example, bandages on his hand could mean he had 6 fingers, or it could just be a mislead. I mean, there's no real proof there, just speculation. By that logic, Mr. Poolcheck, who lost his right hand in a pool filter, could have had 6 fingers before the accident, and therefore could be the author. His first name could even start with F. My point is, this wouldn't be the first time we've been misled. In the episode Into the Bunker, we are led to believe that the author has been revealed. Of course, this turns out to be the shapeshifter disguised as Baron Numnums, the mascot off a can of beans. It did have us going for a while though. There's another example of a pretty big mislead, and we'll have to go back to the first episode for this one. Mabel begins dating a mysterious boy with a dark secret. Let's analyze the clues. He has a strange tattered appearance, like a zombie. Mabel says she met him in a cemetery. When asked his name, he shiftily says it's Normal Man, which Mabel shortens to Norman. He appears to be bleeding, but says it's jam. He has trouble walking like a normal person, Dipper consults the journal and finds a section linking Norman's behavior and appearance to that of a zombie. Dipper even catches Norman on video and witnesses his hand fall off, only to be quickly reattached. So with all these hints and clues, it is safe to say that Norman is in fact not a regular human, but actually a zombie. Wait, never mind, he actually turns out to be a bunch of gnomes. Anyway, my point is, we were misled. Like Dipper, we are given a lot of clues to lead us in a direction, but it turns out that that direction was wrong all along. If we were paying close attention, we would have noticed the real clues, like when Dipper accidentally shows Mabel the gnome page, but we were too distracted to piece it together. So could that be happening with Old Man McGucket? Are all these clues just a big distraction? The leaked photo seems like definitive proof, but Luke and I believe it's just one big hoax. Probably created by Alex Hirsch himself, to further lead everyone in the wrong direction. It confirms what everyone already believes to be true. Having this circulate would just make the true author reveal even more shocking. I could just picture it now. Doesn't this just feel like a Gravity Falls joke waiting to happen? Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about my thoughts on the true author. I guess we'll all know pretty soon. So if it's not Old Man McGucket, who could it be? I don't know, maybe Gompers the Goat is Grunkle Stan's secret twin brother, and he's the author. What do you think? Leave a comment with your own theories, and thanks for watching!